Welcome back, Mike here, Master Kettlebell Academy. Today we're going to look at the half kneeling shoulder press. So what is the half kneeling shoulder press? It's when we get ourselves into literally a half kneeling position. Now in an ideal world, I've got your side on because I want you to see that I've got 90 degrees here, and I'm also going to give myself 90 degrees in this position. And when I come front on, where I want to be here, I'm increasing the base of my support. The beauty of this exercise is you've got nowhere to go. You've got nowhere to cheat. You can't really create any momentum because in this position, my toes are going to be tucked under for one. I'm going to be pushing my hip forward, so the tailbone is going to be tucking under, which is going to fully extend my hip and give me some really good stability from my glutes. Because I'm going single-handed, it's a unilateral exercise. It's going to challenge my hip and core structure a whole lot more whilst I'm pressing load over my head. And then, so as I was saying before, increasing the base of support and slowly decreasing it. In an ideal world, probably don't want your stance any wider than your hips, and obviously the narrower you get, to be like being on a tightrope, is only going to increase the demand needed. But for me, don't need to overcomplicate things. I want to go about hip width apart. From here, I'm going to get my kettlebell into the front rack like normal, which is elbow above the hip, forearm coming in a line so that my fist always starts below the chin, so that my arm is part of my body. And when I start, just like in a kettlebell clean, I would be pulling this arm into my body to make my arm as close to my midline as possible, so that I'm nice and tight before I start. In terms of breathing, how am I going to breathe? I'm going to inhale sharply. I'm going to lift my chest and extend thoracically. Then I'll exhale sharply and bring my top rib cage down, so I'm in a nice braced position. Not talking about hollowing, fully braced position. So from my pubic bone to sternum, so keeping that tight. And then I'll start from here. I'll press the kettlebell up to begin with, and then when my arm gets to approximately 45 degrees from my shoulder, that's when my shoulder blade is going to sit on the back of the rib cage in its ideal position for pressing. Then I'll press overhead until my bicep finishes in line, so that you can just see the air in front of my bicep. On my way back down, then I'll inhale again. So I've exhaled to get there, set my rib cage again, then I'm going to use my lats and pull the arm out to the side. Then I'm re-establishing that 45 degree angle of the humerus, and then I'm going to pull it back down into this position. So I'll do a couple of positions for you. So I'm going to swing clean it between my legs, get myself set. So here's my inhalation, pressing up, bicep next to the air, another breath, reset my rib cage and actively pull it back down into this position. What you probably couldn't see was the fact that I was really driving that hip forward and creating a tremendous amount of stability with my tailbone tucking under in that posteriorly tucked position. Abs are on, pressing, and then pulling myself down. From the front position, I'm hoping that's about hip width apart. So swing clean. Here's my front rack position. So inhale, exhale, inhale again, exhale. So I'm nice and tight. There's the balance I was talking about, required. Bringing down, back to my midline, and back down. Single leg kneeling press. She's a beauty. Probably my favourite shoulder exercise because of the strictness required. You can't cheat, the activity needed, stability required, and putting yourself at a very challenging base of support. When we stand in the shoulder press, sometimes it's easy to bring in a little bit of legs. We need it. Some people like to go really wide and lean back. But hey, Let's make something harder if we can. So bring it to the ground. Less chance of movement, more stability required. She's a beautiful little number. Let me know how you go.